the most inspiring um, feminist symbols in the entire world are roaming around in Iran right now.
Hmm.
I think
Wait,
I
can you
think the
say more about that?
well, I think the future of feminism is in Iran. I think if feminism wanted to jumpstart itself and rebuild its brand, so to speak, and start to be a real movement, the place to go, the cause to embrace, which for some reason feminists have not yet done, is the cause of Iranian women. These are the women who from the get-go, from 1979, the moment the Iranian Revolution came to Iran, became the regime's number one opposition at a time when nobody else dared oppose the newly established regime. And and thereafter, they have consistently challenged the regime. So it's true that the Iranian opposition has not been able to organize. It's true that they have not been able to do a lot of the things that are essential to oppose the regime. But on the other hand, it's as equally true that Iranian women have consistently been a thorn in the regime's side. And if there has been any organized public force that has worn the regime down over the years, it's the women. And so the things that the Iranian women have done to on a philosophical level, to convey the notion that if you are all so big, you Western women, on the idea of choice, and you go around, demonstrating and, uh, clamoring about how your choice has been taken away, why can't you think of us? The choice to dress as we wish, whether in a veil or not, has been taken away from us for 47 years, and you're all silent. So I think actually that the Iranian women are the missing link in the feminist movement. And I think as long as feminists don't see that it is by embracing the cause of Iranian women that they can rebrand and re-energize their movement, they will be in a rut as they have been for the past few decades.
Hmm. Um, are there individual leaders within Iran, women, that you know and will be watching?
Well, there are two female Nobel laureates, one of whom is now in solitary confinement in Iran, Narges Mohammadi. So there certainly are many, and we've seen them. We saw them in the Woman Life Freedom movement in
Mhm.
September 2022. They took to the streets, and they weren't absent in last January's protests. It's just that the nature of those protests had changed because it wasn't just about civil liberties. It was also about, economic distress and all those other things. But if we have seen any serious movement, protests in Iran, it's been because of the women. And yes, they're there, and they have consistently been there for the past couple of decades.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you feel that feminists in America have kind of abandoned the cause of Iranian freedom. Has
I think
that been your
feminists in
experience as a public figure speaking about Iran?
100%. I think I think feminists in general didn't know, have not figured out that they can protect the rights of Muslims in America and oppose the oppression of women in Islamist countries in the region at the
Mm.
same time.
That feels
I
like
think
a
feminists,
dichotomy to some people.
yeah, I think it was the simple skill that they never developed to really intellectually walk and chew gum at the same time. You can defend your Muslims if you think their rights are being violated in your own countries. And you can also acknowledge that there is a problem, there is an affliction called Islamism and Islamic fundamentalism, where wherever it rises to power, it tries to squash the rights of women or drives women back into the kitchens and into oblivion. And so those two things are true simultaneously, and they have to vociferously try to speak out on behalf of both of these uh, victim groups, so to speak. But I don't think they haven't, I don't think they've ever shown that they've figured that out. And I think the fact that they haven't figured that out has been damaging to the cause of feminism. And it's been why it's not a robust movement as it was in the 60s and the 70s.
Hmm. When you speak about this, what kinds of responses do you get from other feminists?
I published my memoir 20 years ago or so,
Hmm.
and and I dedicate my book to women victims in Iran. And from the first some of the first reactions I got was that I was a neocon. And I had never heard the term neocon, so I had to go look it up in the dictionary and say, "What?" Google it to find out what neocon was. And so that has been
Wait, based on
much
your
of the reaction
memoir, based on
based on
your
my
memoir,
memoir.
which
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
read, by the way, I read it last summer. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm confused because it doesn't really feel like a particularly political memoir. I mean, you describe your childhood during the revolution. It's there are some amazing scenes of like little mini revolutions within a revolution at, when you're in your Jewish school and there's a kind of the woman who comes in to be the like Islamic police, and you stage a mini revolt against her. I mean,
Right,
um,
exactly. So you have to understand that this was 2005, and so it was we were closer to 9/11, and America had already gone into Afghanistan and Iraq. And so there were a lot of people who were saying that, Iran is next. America, the great imperialist power, has invaded two countries, and now Iran is going to be the third. And Roya Hakakian has written a memoir that shows that the Iranian women are suffering, and therefore she's trying to provide the ammunition to the administration to attack. And all I'm thinking is, all I was trying to say was that, I had a great childhood when this regime wasn't there. And uh, all of us as Jews would have probably stayed in Iran had this regime not come to power. And look how, look at this a slice of life during those 5, 6, 7 years through the perspective of a no-name girl, as I was at the time. But that's not how others saw it, or at least some certain critics saw it. They thought that I had put my pen in the service of U.S. imperialism.
hmm.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like you're seen that way in your career now?
Um, I probably am, but the fact is, it really upset me for the first few years, and it was very important for me to say, "Oh, no, 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 I'm being misunderstood," and now I just don't care, um,
Hmm.
because um, because I don't care because I don't think that the people who leveled those accusations at me knew who I was or what I had written, but that they had that the book or my writings or me had become a weapon in a larger war that they were carrying on, and so it took me many years to finally get that. And now I understand that this is what it is. And I wish it wasn't.